done by now. Seems we're running late. Let's put the food on the table fast as we're able. Guests are coming at 8. When we're caught in the Christmas rush, it's so easy to lose touch with the true meaning of things and what really matters. Just look up in the December night. There is one star shining bright. It shines on one and all. Shine on, Christmas star. Shine on. Simmer down, pass a big smile around. Now that everything is gold, the children hunker down to see what's hidden beneath the Christmas tree. Look but not touch, they're told. When we're caught in the Christmas rush, it's so easy to lose touch with the true meaning of things and what really matters.
Hello and welcome to day 8 of Knit a Rainbow's Vlogmas. My name is Kimberly and I am so happy that you're here, friends. Well, I'm wearing it. I decided to wear this today. I love the extended sleeves. It's very cozy. It's not as cold here today, so I didn't need to wear a shirt underneath this. But this, it actually feels like wearing a blanket. Almost like a Snuggie, but pretty. That's what it feels like to me. I love the longer sleeves. I can tell that when I wet block this, it's just going to get even longer, and I will be able to, you know, cuff it if I want, if there's a shirt underneath it that I want to like have poking through. But I have to tell you, it was worth it. So I love that clock. Yay! It's 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock here, really sunny. This is my knitting spot that I love to sit in. And let's get going with today. We have Sunday dinner to go to, so the Cozy Knitter socks. I'm getting super excited. It was a super happy pink color. And you can really see those slip stitches dropped down. The next color is green. Oh, maybe you didn't want to know that. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I also, Vita Lifestyle, here was day 7. Now, I've never knit with self-striping yarn before. This is a new thing for me. And when I was winding day 7 of the Advent, I thought, wow, that kind of looks like self-striping yarn, but in like really short repeats. And when I knit it up, oh my gosh, this is so adorable. Like, I don't know why every single one of these colors I think would be really great. I don't know how she does it, but here is day 7. So it is like itty bitty short repeats. But look at how all those colors look so beautiful together. The sun is, look at, it's right there. But I wanted to show you a different spot, and my husband, I just muted the football for right now. Now, I love football, but I just muted it for you guys. So that is day 7. Let's open day 8. Day 8 is lavender taffy. Ooh, I have a feeling I know what it's going to look like. Here's day 8. Oh my gosh. It's beautiful. Day 8. So it's like one color goes into the next, into the next. It's beautiful. It's going to be a happy stripe. So I'll get working on that. I might even do that, you know, work on that while I can. I'm really enjoying the little bits. Let me know, are you enjoying the little bits of knitting that you're doing? What are you knitting on? Are you gift knitting? Are you only knitting for yourself? What are you doing? Let me know. Oh, Hank just jumped up on the couch. All right, and then the campsite shawl. I just finished on the third chart. I finished it once, and so we're right here. Can't really see. But I did notice on the campsite shawl, when I am increasing, so you're increasing in 4 spots, and it's make one right and make one left. And when you are making one right, now everybody prefers one type of make one right. Oh, there's a cardinal right outside my window. Maybe it's my mommy coming to say hello. Everybody has a favorite. Make one left, make one right. How, you know, I think right, I always thought that was like the harder one, and so that's how I remember, so I don't have to keep looking it up, right? The make one right is the harder one. Okay, I'm gonna manipulate the yarn this way and go into it. And make one right, when you're doing that, especially on a shawl like this, the one side that you're making the right on is really tight. And then a make one left is much easier to make, but it is a titch looser. At least in my knitting, it's a titch looser than the make one right. And that's because of the way you put the yarn on the needle. And so I wanted to show you how I remedied that, because when you're doing something like a sweater, it's not really that big of a deal. But when you're working on a shawl like this, and you're going to have 300 stitches by the end of your shawl, you want both sides to have the same amount of stretch. Oh, look, my man just came downstairs. Yay!
Hello.
Oh, did you hear him? So you want to have the same amount of stretch. So if one side, the stretch, hang on for a second. Sorry about that. All right. So what I was explaining was what the difference between make one right and make one left for my knitting is that the make one right is a little tighter looking and a little tighter feeling than the make one left. And that's because when you put the running thread on your left hand needle, you're knitting into the front of it. So it's like twisting that running thread. When you are, and I'll show you during the technique, because that's the technique for today. When you are putting the running thread on the left hand needle and you're knitting into the back of it, you're not cinching up that running thread, which causes it to be much looser. The kind of like hole is larger when in a make one left than a make one right. I'm going to show you how I remedied it. I'm going to show you how I remedied that situation. Because when you're working on a shawl like this, I want this side to be just as stretchy as this side. I don't want it to be, I don't want one side to be much longer than the other side, right? So that is the technique for today. I'm going to show you how I make my rights, make one right, make one left, and how I make it easier on myself. That's a lot of makes. And then I'm just going to show you, and then I'm going to show you how I remedy it on the other side. And here's a little hint. It is kind of a technique that we've already talked about in day one. Okay, friends, we are going to get into how I work my knit one right and knit one left. But the technique that I'm going to show you to make sure that one side is the same stretchiness as the other side and that it looks the same is that you have to kind of think a little bit beforehand, and you're going to work the row prior. You're going to do the little trick that I'm going to show you. All right, so we're going to knit the first 2 stitches. And then we're going to purl. Here's a great time to mention that when you're working with markers, it is a great habit to get into. If you're changing, if you're going to a purl, or you're purling and you're going to a knit, is to orient your working yarn prior to slipping the marker. That leaves less space where you can, sometimes your marker gets in the way and then you use more yarn and then you'll have a space as well. But what we're going to do here is very much like the ribbing, is we're going to, instead of purling over like this, like we normally would purl, we're going to come up and under and use just the weeest bit of yarn that we can. And then when we go into that second stitch, I'm going to give it a little tug and purl on. And what that does is it shortens up the running thread, this running thread in between the 2 stitches, so that I have less to work with. It feels a little tighter, and then it actually works out perfectly because it gives you the exact right amount of tension so that it works the same. So I'm going to continue to knit on this around until I'm on a right side row, and then let's talk about the way I make my make one right and make one left. Here's another example of what I'm talking about. Slipping the marker. Orient your working yarn, slip your marker, and then knit. It also moves things much faster. And I'm first going to talk about the make one right, which is right here. You can see it along the edge. We're going to knit 2. Slip the marker. You take this running thread in between here. Now, I was just on a purl side. Look at how much yarn I have here. That's a lot of yarn to work with. Let's see what it looks like here. Not as much. Do you see that? So when you're going from the purl to the knit, look how much yarn you get. But it doesn't matter though, because when you put your working yarn on the needle, you are twisting it to knit into. So you're creating this twist, and then you knit into it. So what I do is I'm knitting along, I pick it up and stick it on my left hand needle, but I keep my needle really, really close to the stitch on my right hand needle, and I hold it with my thumb. that gives us a nice place to bring our needle into, right? I'll do it again right here. So I dip my needle down, and as I'm placing it on the needle, I keep the tip of my left-hand needle really close to that stitch that I just did. Hold it and then go into it. Because when you do it the other way, where you put it on and then you try to go in here, it's uncomfortable because, I don't know, it's uncomfortable. So try it that way. Try holding your needle and then going into it. It's much, much, much easier. I'm going to knit around until I get to this stitch over here, and I will show you how I do the make one left. I am at the center point here. So I'm going to make one right again. Slip the marker, knit one through the back loop, slip the marker. Now let's talk about a make one left. The way a make one left is you take that running thread in between here and you place it on the needle and then knit into the back of it. So what happens is there's no twisting of this. There's no twisting. You're going to knit into the back of it, and that's wonderful. It's great. But you can actually see that there's a little bit bigger of a space here than there is here. Now it kind of gets remedied, but I can feel with my hands that there's more of a hole here than there is here. It doesn't necessarily matter right here because we're going straight down. But I'm going to continue, and at the end, let's see how I remedied this. I've come around. Let's see if I can make this so it's easier to see. All right, I've come around. I'm going to knit this last one. And now this stitch here is situated where the left leg is leading. So I'm going to knit into that one, into the back, right? And now here's the running thread, and it's nice and tight, and I can make one left, slip, and knit two. And that's it, folks. You're going to manipulate that running thread in between the stitches so that you don't have a huge running thread in between the two. Because of the way a make one left is made, you're not twisting the running thread like you are when you're making one right. And so if we manipulate the running thread on the row below or the row before that, then it's much easier. So here we're at the end. This is all we have to remember. Well, on this is we're going to knit two. I'm going to purl next, so I'm going to bring my yarn to the front, slip my marker. I'm going to go into the stitch to purl. I'm going to go into the next stitch to purl, give a tug, and now purl back. And that's it. That's how I got both sides to have the same amount of stretch. And when they have the same amount of stretch, it's going to block out where both sides are going to be equal. I hope you enjoyed that. So let me know 1 week into the Advent season, how are you all feeling? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I didn't expect that I was gonna, knit and be addicted to an entire shawl piece. I have other things that I would like to knit, but I do have someone special that I would like to make that shawl for. At the end of the shawl is ribbing, and I have a skein. I'm wondering if I should just leave it all the same color, or if at the bottom ribbing I should change to the skein that I bought for this. That, you know, it's the same yarn, the same dyer, but it's multicolored. I kind of want to leave it all one color, but then part of me is like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know what to do, but I'm sure when I get to that section, I'll figure it out. Each row is taking me longer and longer. I'm over 200 stitches now, so it's taking a little bit longer, but I'm just so excited about it. I just keep knitting on it, even though I have lots of other stuff to get done. I do have a major project that's due by the end of this week, and then I have one other knit gift to make. And then it's all about me, baby. I'll probably be spinning a lot more and showing you that kind of stuff. But this week coming up as well, my friend Tabitha is coming to visit on Tuesday into Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I'm going to go visit Victoria. So I don't know if you guys know that we live about a half an hour away from each other, so it's not hard to meet up with each other. So that's going to be super fun, and that's about. And of course, I'll take you all along. And that's about it. I sincerely appreciate everybody, your comments. It's so fun to read them. It's so fun to receive them. And it's really nice to see that you're all enjoying Vlogmas and that you're coming along during this season with me. But I also want to acknowledge my friends that this season is really difficult. This is the first time in 5 years that I've actually looked forward to the holiday, because I was dealing with grief, with the death of my mother, and she made Christmas so amazing for us. And I never spent a Christmas without my mother, so you know, I had to kind of learn to figure it out. And so I was talking to a friend at the party last night, and we were talking about how hard this time of year is for some people. And I want to acknowledge you. I want you to know that I am thinking of you, along with the people in my prayer bowl. I'm praying for all of you, because I know how hard it is when the world is jolly. That's kind of a funny thing. The world is not jolly. But when everyone around you, when it seems like everyone around you is jolly, and you're sitting there in your grief and sadness or depression or whatever, or anxiety, thinking, how is everybody just going on with their life, and I feel stuck. I've been stuck, and I feel you, and my heart is praying for you. And if praying doesn't make you comfortable, then I'm thinking of you and sending good thoughts to you and letting you know that I see you, and I promise you it does get better. It really does, but you have to put in the work, or you have to change some things that are keeping you in the spot where you are. And because I don't want to end on like a sad-ish note, I want you to know it's not sad for me, because there's hope. And wherever there's hope, there's joy. And wherever there's joy, that's where I'll be. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your Sunday. To film and get up every single day. Very excited. One little snafu on day 4, but we fixed it. And I am just rambling about that. It's ridiculous. Boop. I tried to find that that noise that I could put at the end of the blooper. Anyway.